Today on Muddybeards 4x4, I got a new Jeep. So I have a confession to make as a Cherokee owner and a Cherokee fan that maybe I'm not supposed to admit to, but I absolutely love Grand Cherokees, and especially the 99 to 04 Grand Cherokee WJ. I really can't tell you what it is necessarily that I like about them, but they are just so cool. The exterior of these Jeeps are just simple yet stylish. They have all the right curves and all the right places without just being a box or a square, but without being all gaudy like some of the newer vehicles are. And it's even got this beautiful grille up front, classic Jeep styling. This thing looks great and rugged. It looks like a stylish, comfortable luxury SUV 4x4. The interiors on these things are equally as simple and stylish, but also comfortable. In fact, these seats might be some of the most comfortable I've ever sat in, and everything else is just nicer. It's more family oriented and, dare I say, luxurious. I mean, heated leather seats, a good looking cockpit, wood grain accents, premium sound system. I mean, what is not to like? And on top of all of that, this thing is still a solid axled 4x4 Jeep. So it's still gonna be rugged and capable of getting out there and going on an adventure. So why did I get this WJ? What are my plans with it? What is wrong with it, which is the reason why I got it for so cheap? Well, let's check this thing out. Check it out. This is my new 2001 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited, and you know, I've been looking for a WJ for probably like 3 or 4 years, honestly, but just recently started getting serious. I really wanted to get one. I chose an odd time considering the market. Pretty much anything that says 4x4 nowadays, you have to sacrifice your firstborn son in order to pay for it. But I did get this thing for pretty cheap, and it's, you know, it's 4x4. It's got the V8 engine in it. I think it's the Dana 30-35 combo, you know, typical WJ setup. It does have, you know, the leather interior and all that stuff. The thing is pretty nice, and the reason why I picked this thing up is it's dirty. I mean, it's literally even got moss growing on it. I don't know if you can see it here, but I mean, it's been sitting for like 3 years according to the previous owner, but it is remarkably in good shape. There is like not a dented panel on this thing, barely any scratches. The paint's actually in pretty darn good condition. You know, this brownish paint. There is a little bit of a dent right here on the tailgate. And I swear, I don't know a lot about WJs, but I feel like every single one that I see has a dent right there. Don't know why. Maybe somebody can explain that to me. Why are these things always dented right there? But it's actually in very good shape. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted it, is that I envision this thing of being more like a family wheeler, you know, a camping ribbon, overlander perhaps. And I want to be able to take my family out. And so I wanted something that was a little bit nicer. And, you know, I think this thing is going to clean up and polish up really nicely. The interior is actually, I mean, pretty same story. You know, leather seats, heated leather seats. You know, they're showing a little bit of age or a little cracked, but no rips and tears. It's almost impossible to find these things without the rips and tears in them. and this thing again is in excellent shape. All the interior stuff seems to work. Everything seems to do okay. It does have the Quadra drive, which some people think is a good thing, some people don't. I have a 231 transfer case that I believe will swap into this thing. So, you know, I'm just pretty excited about it. It's a basic setup here. I mean, it's a 21-year-old Jeep that needs some work, but it is clean. It's in good shape, which is pretty rare to find. Headlights are definitely all fogged and glazed over and seen better days, but she's in relatively good shape, and I think it's gonna clean up nicely. But there is a problem, and this is the reason why I got it for so cheap. And it's kind of a big problem, but let's check this out. So I don't know if you could hear that exactly over the camera very well, but this is the 4.7 V8 engine, and it is just running terribly. And it seems to have a pretty good knock. Now, I knew that when I bought it. That is the reason why I was able to get it for pretty cheap. This thing developed a knock, and apparently the previous owner had parked it for like 3 years. He always thought he was gonna fix it. Just never got around to it. And so I need to diagnose this thing. And I don't think I've ever even touched a bolt on one of these 4.7 Chrysler engines. So if you're a big 4.7 guy, you know a lot about these. You and I may need to become best friends, especially if you live up here in Western Washington. We definitely need to become best friends, because I got to diagnose this thing. It's clearly missing really badly, but it turns over nice and smooth. So and it's not like a hard knock. So it leads me to believe that I don't think it's a bottom end knock like a rod knock. It makes me think like it's more valve train. It's missing because it probably doesn't have compression in one of the cylinders. And I know that these 4.7s were notorious for the valve guides failing and then dropping a valve. Which would make sense, right? It's going to run terrible. It's going to knock because it's probably rattling around some of that valve, seat material or something like that. So if that is the case, I think that worst case scenario, I'm replacing this whole engine. I mean, the thing's probably junk. I mean, if it's really smacking metal around in there, the bore's all messed up and the cylinder or the piston's dented up, then I probably need a whole new engine or at least a new rebuild. I guess best case scenario, I'm still replacing a set of cylinder heads, but I need to get in here and diagnose this thing. So if you are a 4.7 guy, maybe we need to connect so I can pick your brain a little bit. Maybe you know somebody that has one of these engines sitting around ready to go. I might be willing to buy it, okay? But I need a new motor. Or, hey, I know these motors, it seems like people either love them or hate them. Should I just get rid of it? I already have friends trying to convince me to LS swap the thing. And if you look at the total cost of getting one of these engines used, it's hard to find them used for a good price, unless somebody knows where to get them. I mean, heck, an LS swap, I might not be that far off the cost of rebuilding this thing. So who knows? But I would like to keep it Chrysler. I like the idea of a V8, but that is the major issue, is obviously this thing, it needs work. I need to fix this motor and probably get rid of this silly intake thing too. So there you have it, just a simple video about my new project Jeep. So yes, my first priority is the trail plug. I gotta get my 1-ton swap done on the rock crawler. That's gonna be the priority before I really start digging into this project. But I'm really excited about this project. Wanted a WJ for a long time, as I said before, and just for me, having something that I can go out with, camping rig, the Overlander, that stuff seems so appealing to me because I can get my family out there going with me, and it just sounds like something that's fun, going on an adventure. And that's what I think these WJs are such a good platform. They're comfortable, they're a little bit nicer, 4-wheel coil spring all the way around, so they ride, really well too. And I think this thing is just going to be a super fun project that me and my whole family can use. So let me know what you think down in the comments. What should I do with the engine? Is there anything else I should be looking for? Any suggestions on what you want me to see do with this thing? I mean, I like WJs, but I know nothing about them. I mean, lift kits even. Should I build my own? Should I buy one? I mean, what should I do with this thing? Let me know. WJ fans, hey, there's one on the channel now, so speak up. Let me know what you think. And until next time, we'll see you on the trail.